Sassel and welcome to Faith Networks Private Tutoring. So today we're going to do addition and subtraction of fractions with unlike denominators using three different methods. So let's go. All right, so the first method we're going to look at is the lowest common denominator method. Right, so we're going to use the same fractions. So we have 2/3 and a quarter. Right, on the left, we're going to add, and on the right, we are going to subtract using this method we have here. 2/3, subtract 1/4. So we're going to use the same fractions as examples using the different methods to see would we get the same thing. So the LCD method. What is the LCD method? So numbers have multiples. So multiples are numbers that you can multiply a number by, right? So let's look at the multiples of 3 and 4. So the multiples of 3, let's look at those. Multiples of 3. So we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. And the multiples of 4 are 4, 8, 12, and 16, etc. Right? If you know your tables, you would know it basically says 1 times 3 is 3, 2 times 3 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9, 1 times 4 is 4, 2 times 4 is 8, so on and so forth. All right, so now we look for common. What is common? So you're looking at those multiples there, and you see that the number 12 is common. You see it there? Well, 12 is common. Right. Let me just fancy up my circle here. So 12 is common. So therefore we're going to use 12 is a number that both 3 and 4 can be divided by. Okay, so let's erase and let's start to solve. All right, so the LCD method, we draw a line and we put the LCD common multiple here. All right, step 1, we have to divide each denominator by the lowest common denominator here. So what does that mean? 12 divided by 3. Okay, 12 divided by 3. And that answer, you're going to multiply that answer by the numerator. So 12 divided by 3 will give you 4. 4 multiplied by 2 will give you 8. And we do the same thing on the other side. We have 12 divided by 4 will give us 3. 3 multiplied by 1 will give us 3. So there you have it. So we bring down the addition sign and we have 3. So all we have to do now is add the numerators. The denominator stays the same. Okay? And our final answer, 8 plus 3, 11 over 12. 11 twelfths. Our next one. So we're gonna subtract now. Okay, let's go. All right. We already know our lowest common denominator is 12, so we're repeating the same steps that we did when we added. So 3 into 12 is 4, 4 2 is 8. Oops, 8. Oh, let me make that better. 4 2 is 8. Minus 4 into 12 is 3. 3 multiplied by 1 is 3. 8 minus 3 will give us 5 twelves. Let's put that in red. Right, so we're looking to see if in our next two methods we get 11 twelves when we add and 5 twelves when we subtract. So let's check out the next method. Okay, so our next method is the equivalent fraction method. Now, equivalent fractions are fractions that have different numerators and denominators, but are equal to the same value, right? So let's do the equivalent method. So we're going to change these fractions, 2/3 and 1/4, into equivalent fractions. So they have the same value, but they're going to look a little different. All right, so let's do them right in the middle here. So we have 2/3. Let's do it on the side. Right, so we have 2/3 and we have 1/4. Right? Luckily, we have already figured out what could be the lowest common denominator between the two of them. So we're going to use 12. Right? We have 12. So in order to change our current fractions into equivalent fractions, this is what we're going to do. First step. We need to figure out how much would it take us to go from 3 to 4. What number would we multiply 3 by to get the number 4? Right? And that number, to get the number 12, sorry. And that would be 4. 3 multiplied by 4. Whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. Alright, so 2 multiplied by 4 will give us 8. So 2/3 is now equivalent to 8 twelfths. Now let's do the second fraction, 1/4. So we're going to figure out 12 multiplied by what number is going to give us, 4 multiplied by what number is going to give us 12? That number is 3. Whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. 1 multiplied by 3 is 3. So now our new fractions, 8 twelfths, 3 twelfths. So let's plug them in. So instead of 2/3 and 1/4, we're now going to be working with 8 twelfths plus 3 twelfths, right? They both have the same denominator, so we don't have to do anything to the denominator. It remains the same. Right, we simply add the numerators. 8 plus 3 will give us 11 twelfths. It's the same thing, so we can do this method as well. All right, let's do subtraction. So 2/3 is now 8 twelfths minus 3 twelfths. Again, the numerator remains the same. We simply do our operation to the numerator. 8 minus 3 will give us, 5 twelfths, which is what we got. So this method also works. So let's move on to the next method. All right, so the third and final method to add and subtract fractions with unlike denominators is my personal favorite, the butterfly method. So let's check out why it's my favorite. Okay, so the butterfly method has a lot of steps, so we're going to do it one step at a time. So our first step, we're going to draw a butterfly. So a butterfly is made up of wings. A butterfly has two wings, so we're going to draw a wing. All right, and we're going to circle the first numerator and the second denominator, and we're going to give it an antenna like so. Then we're going to circle the second numerator and the first denominator like so. And we're also going to give it an antenna like that. Then we're going to add the body, right at the bottom there. Now, what? Doesn't that look like a beautiful butterfly? No, these are the steps we're going to do to solve our sum. So we have, let's look at the blue wing. So what we're going to do, we have to multiply 2 multiplied by 4, and we put our answer under this antenna here. So that is going to be 8. Our second antenna, we multiply 3 multiplied by 1, and that's going to give us 3. So we put that answer there. And in the body, we are multiplying 3 by 4, and that will give us 12, and we put that answer here. So what does this represent? So the antennas represent the new numerators, and the body represents the new denominator, right? So all we have to do is solve. So we have 8 plus 3 over 12, and that is going to give us our final answer, 11 over 12. There we have it again. Let's see if this method works for subtraction. So let's circle our butterfly. Right, the first numerator and the second denominator, we give it an antenna. Then we have the second numerator and the first denominator, and we give it an antenna there. And of course, we give it a body. And we're going to repeat the exact same steps. So let's look at the blue wing. 2 multiplied by 4, again, will give us 8. 3 multiplied by 1 will give us 3. And 3 multiplied by 4 will give us 12. So we simply do our subtraction. So 8 subtract 3 over 12. Our final answer will be 5 twelfths. Yes, perfect. Look at that. We end up getting back the exact same answers. So now you know 3 methods to solve fractions, adding and subtracting fractions with different denominators. So make sure to like and subscribe at Faith and Works Private Tutoring for more great tips. Bye.